What's up, everyone? Welcome to the early Wedge. What a crew the Wedge and SportsLine have assembled. We've got the Bank of Utah Championship, formerly known, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, as the Black Desert. We got Rick Gehman, we got Patrick McDonald, we got Jason Sobel. I don't really know where to start. Rick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
That's it? You're just gonna lob it back
polite.
to me?
Very polite, Rick.
See, I went to the wrong person. No, you lost your chance.
Okay.
You lost your chance. Patrick, how are you doing?
Oh, gosh, you just opened up a can of worms. Let's see. I have a sty on my eye. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm having it removed next Tuesday, going under the knife. Been weighing on my mind.
Can we solo him?
Are you looking at it, Eric?
Yeah.
Rick, do you see that right there?
Oh, I do see it.
Barely.
Is it painful?
No, it's not bad. Rick, it was there at the Ryder Cup. I'm surprised. I mean, you just didn't really care to look.
I know better than to look you in the eye. I'll turn to stone.
So apparently the way the eye doctor was talking about, it's a super casual procedure where they kind of just slit open the inside of your eyelid a little bit and pop it out like a pearl.
I don't like
so that. Really looking forward to that. Some remedies in the chat, warm compress, word that I can't pronunciate, and ointment. I tried all that. Some pills too. Nothing worked. So we're going under the knife next Tuesday.
They're gonna shuck you.
I'll be missing. What's the tournament next week?
There is not one next week.
So you're good. Patrick, also
I do it.
Good timing right there.
When you're trying to pronounce a word that doesn't exist, it's like a double whammy because pronunciate is definitely not a thing. Maybe enunciate or pronounce. Either one, but not pronunciate.
This surgery is just weighing on my mind.
Jason, before we get to golf, I have to share.
Pronunciate?
You said pronunciate, which should be a word, but
that's a word now.
Probably not. Jason, I have to share, it is football season, and we do have in our parlay section later on in the show after we do outrights. I know there's some football incorporated there, courtesy of Patrick McDonald and his Pittsburgh Steelers. But Jason, you showed me a parlay today, and listen, when we bet on golf, we're trying to make money, but we're also trying to have fun. You put $1.11 down on a 14-leg NFL parlay for Week 7.
As one does.
And just one does for fun because betting is supposed to also be fun. And that $1.11 turned into what? Because this parlay hit.
It hit for $1,000. That's actually why it was $1.11 exactly, because I wanted to get over that 4-digit barrier there. But yeah, look, I have made no bones on this show about the fact that I love really stupid parlays. This one was actually born on the fact that I'm in pick'em pools where it's not against the spread, just pick every team, confidence pools. And I sat there working on, I'm like working on it. I'm doing it for 30 seconds, just filling in the teams I like. And I'm like, you know what? Most of these games I have a pretty good feeling for. I left out the Vikings-Eagles game, and I left out the Colts-Chargers game. And then I basically hit the other 14, and it turned into a nice little ticket. But I mean, there's a million other ones that I've done the exact same thing and haven't hit. So it's just law of averages.
So do we have it, Josh? I have not seen this. So what was it? Money lines, Jason?
All money lines. Yeah, it was. And I had a bunch of others that worked out as well, not to that extent. But it was literally money line on every team other than the Eagles and Colts that won this past weekend, including the Bengals on Thursday.
Well done.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Again, supposed to be fun. Those almost never hit, but when they do, it's fun. And when they don't, it's still kind of fun because they only put $1 down on it. Go ahead, Jason.
But like I said, this is not me bragging about it, so you brought it up. I also, there's a reason why I haven't mentioned putting in for $1 and hitting 1,000 on other parlays on other shows that we've done, because it doesn't usually happen. So this is not, I hate
you're even now.
Like, oh yeah, put in a 14-teamer and I hit it. I can tell you all the times I've put in 14-teamers and they haven't hit. So it's, just 1 in a million.
I do want to get to some storylines, actually get to some golf and some picks. We'll go to first-round leaders. We got matchup bets, finishing positions, outrights. We've got other events that we want to talk about with respect to outrights. But Rick, real quick, before we get to storylines, and I know you've done your show over at Rick Run Good as well. In terms of the golfer you're looking for here, is there again, this is only the second year we're doing it here at this course. Is there a certain type of golfer you're looking for? Or is it more of a global metrics you've got your eye on?
So yeah, we've only played here once. So there's not a ton that you can take away from. And in fact, it's not even the same course from last year. It's 50 yards longer. They've added a couple of fairway bunkers. Like, so in terms of sample size and information that we have, it's as bad as it gets. Now, when you start looking at, like, it's still a resort course. The landing zones are, there's not much rough out there. You can be effectively inaccurate. The fairway, I mean, like 80% of fairways were hit last year, something outrageous. You just can't be very inaccurate. That's when you end up in the lava rock, or it's basically desert golf, right? You'd be outside the rough, you'd be outside the rough line, you'd be in the desert. Here you're in the lava rocks. I think the greens are I think they're incredibly pure. This is a very new golf course. The ability just to hit greens and roll in putts is exciting. So I'm looking for guys that are like, I don't care if you're inaccurate, just don't be the most wild player in the world. And then like go out and make some birdies. So yeah, it probably is just a bunch of global stuff because of the lack of information that we have, but we probably know more off the tee than other facets of the game.
Patrick, we've got bent grass greens here. When you've got what appears to be like, as Rick characterized it, pure greens, do you tend to defer more to team no putt, or are you still going for the putters? Because on my outright card, it's mostly guys who can putt and score via the putter.
Yeah, going back to these global statistics you guys were talking about, not the local statistics that I was diving into myself. GDP per capita per se. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I'm kind of just looking at guys who are playing well. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or do anything crazy or get too deep into the numbers, because there's some guys who are here trying to get inside the top 50 for the OWGR, some guys trying to keep their cards, and some guys who can freewheel it and play free, who are playing probably the best golf in the field. So I think we tend to overcomplicate the FedEx Cup fall. This is like the third season of it, at least. And it seems like every week, or at least the majority of the time, it's really just like the best guy in the field wins. Like it has not been overcomplicated so far in 2025. It's been Scotty Scheffler. It's been Xander Schauffele. You go to India, Tommy Fleetwood was playing the best golf. He won out over there. So I'm keeping it super, super simple.
That's probably the way to go. It's a good transition point, Jason, to storylines, because one of the prevailing storylines is players inside or outside of the top 100 running out of time. Talk to me about that and why it's so important.
Yeah, first of all, it's the fourth of 7 of these FedEx Cup fall events. So if you're sitting at 112 on the FedEx Cup points list or whatever it might be right now, like, you've got to kind of step on the gas pedal. You're kind of running out of time to get inside that top 100. It's not 125 as it used to be, top 100, and keep your card for next year. All of that said, from a betting perspective, it's like, okay, I want to focus on the guys who are motivated to go out and play well. You've got a lot of players in this field who need a big week this week. That said, then you look at the other guys, you're like, well, I might rather a guy that doesn't need a big week because he's already got his card. He's not playing with that kind of pressure. So it's sort of a double-edged sword, which way you want to look as far as the guys who are motivated versus the guys who are like, I'm just going to go hang out in Utah and play some golf this week, even though I don't necessarily need to.
Patrick, your storyline is sort of a corollary to what Jason was just saying. I mean, you're looking for players who might not need to win because they don't have the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, kind of just to harp on what I said previously, it's been very, very straightforward so far this fall, outside of, obviously Fisk won there in Mississippi, but Garrick Hago has been one of the best players this fall. He's had 3 really good starts so far, and he was right there with a chance, shushing that lethal American crowd there in Jackson, Mississippi, unfortunately unable to come through. So yeah, I think obviously being able to play this time of year, a lot of people have a lot to play for, but I think equally important is not really having anything to play for. Just being able to play without any stress and play your game, I think, is really valuable.
Rick, there are some big names in this tournament. Max Homa, Sahith Theegala, certainly 2 of them. Talk to me about your expectations with those 2 guys.
I think they simultaneously have nothing to play for, but a lot to play for, right? I think externally they're good, right? They're PGA Tour winners. There's no issues about fields they're going to be able to get into. But these guys have had stretches of golf that has been very bad. Now, Sahith's was very much injury related. And he's spoken about that, and it seems like he's healthy now. But to kind of go back to Patrick's point is, I think these two are probably top 2, top 3, like best pedigrees in this field. Like if you just zoom out and look at who the best players are. So yeah, I think it's exciting times for these guys. I'm going to try to be early on them rather than take a wait and see approach.
All right. Well, we got to wait and see what these bets are. Well, we've wasted enough time. We've wasted enough of everybody's time. 10 minutes. We haven't even got to a bet. Let's get to our first bet. It's going to be first round leaders, and we're going to get to tournament matchups, outrights, finishing positions, you name it. We've got it right here on the Early Wedge, right after this message from our partners.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
We're back on the Early Wedge, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. All right, let's get to yeah, it's the new thing, Patrick.
Whoa, can't be throwing that one at me willy-nilly.
What do you think?
Legendary
versus the sportsbook born in Vegas. What do you think?
Oh, that is so much better. Good for them.
Make it legendary.
Yeah, hopefully they paid McKenzie enough to switch that up for them.
Do we think of How I Met Your Mother when we make it legendary?
Yeah, that's a good point. Best, you know me, Sia. I love the sitcoms. Number one for me is How I Met Your Mother.
Is it really? Is your number one sitcom all time?
It's up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up there for sure.
Have you seen the sitcom bracket rankings and listened to the podcast that me and Pat Mayo did?
You know, at least a couple times I've seen and watched and filled out that bracket myself.
I'm going to send you the rankings because I think it's important. How I Met Your Mother is high.
I have them memorized. So I'll save you the time. And yeah, I know you're a How I Met Your Mother guy.
Let's get to some first round leaders. I've got 4. You know, I always have more than everybody else, but 4 is not that many. We do have some crossover though, Rick, because I have Taylor Montgomery at 70-1. You have Taylor Montgomery at 70-1. A guy that, Rick, I was fading, not this year, but like last year, I was just fading him every time in matchups and winning every time. Seems to have found something, his old form, if you will. Talk to me about him as a first round leader.
I love him in scenarios where he can sprint, where maybe he goes out and gains 4 or 5 strokes with the putter in a given round. That's absolutely within his range of outcomes. He's one of the best putters that we have on the PGA Tour. The rest of his game, I shouldn't say that. His driver leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, he's losing like a stroke per round off the tee as of right now. I'm hopeful that like the fairway hit percentages that you get here are going to hide some of his deficiencies. He just needs to keep it out of the lava rock. If he can do that, I think he gives himself a decent chance. I'm less bullish about him over 4 rounds, 8 rounds, 12 rounds, but in a scenario like this, where it's just go out and sprint to the top for 18, that's where I currently want my Montgomery exposure to be.
Totally agree. And I will point out that Montgomery is in the afternoon, but I don't think the contrast is going to be that. We see the weather report that Josh has put up for us on the right-hand side of the screen here. I don't think the afternoon is going to be that much worse, if at all,
it's probably going to be better. It's going to be warmer.
All right. Fair enough. Okay.
Twice as much wind.
Say it again, Jason.
More than twice as much wind.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what we're seeing here,
that's twice as much.
Let's not get contentious, fellas.
It's low. It's 2 miles per hour versus 5 miles per hour with 10 to 15 mile per hour gusts throughout the day. So should be good there, Jason. Technically true. Talk to me about Sam Ryder and Carl Phillips. Those are your 2 first round leaders. Sam Ryder's so annoying because I never pick him as a first round leader. And yet, like every 10th tournament, he's always in contention for some reason and holing out from like 50 yards away. Talk to me about Ryder and Phillips.
I'll admit, I didn't know how good Ryder was in opening rounds. It seems like he's on a lot of Thursday boards, but if you had asked me, I would have said, okay, if Scotty Scheffler's number 1 in round 1 scoring average, Keith Mitchell's got to be right there. Harry Hall, we see all the time. They're 3-4. Sam Ryder's actually number 2 on that list this season on the PGA Tour. And so that was basically a blind, like, I don't know how he's going to play this golf course. I don't even know what kind of form he's really in, but he's number 2 on that list. He goes low on Thursdays. Let's pencil him in there. And then Carl Phillips is a guy who did absolutely nothing after winning for the first time. He won the Puerto Rico Open earlier this year. And then after that, it was like he just needed to kind of catch his breath a little bit. It did not play good golf for most of the year. It slowly, gradually started to come back. I like playing him for sort of a ceiling play, but I don't know that it's ready to come over 4 rounds. So I will take a single round investment on Carl Phillips, who's a guy that he can go low. It just hasn't happened in a long time.
That's the thing with Carl Phillips. It feels like the talent is there. I mean, what did we see it? I maybe you just mentioned this, but the tournament that he actually won, I mean, what was that earlier? Yeah. Okay. So it's just been so erratic since then, but I think these are really smart first round leader plays. All right, Patrick, Rico Hoey. A lot of people like Rico, and Rick, I do have an associated comment here. Is Rico toggling between Richard and Rico, and is that messing up your database? But Patrick, you first.
Wait, he goes by Richard?
It's his real name.
His actual name.
I don't believe that. I'm sorry. That's like these guys rebranding mid-career. Can we just stop that? Like Matthew Fitzpatrick going by Matt. Can't believe
who never rebranded though was Ricky Fowler. He just stuck with Ricky forever.
And yeah, I mean, you would think eventually he goes to Rick. Does Scotty Scheffler go to Scott when he wins his 5th major championship? Right, kind of a more mature name. Rico, I guess we're on pace for Rick here soon, right? Just one syllable.
Of all the nicknames from Richard, I feel like Rico is maybe the best one.
I mean, I'm technically a Richard. Maybe I'll start going by Rico.
Dick Hoey? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Dick Hoey would
That's
rip.
Pretty good.
That would rip. So I'm going with Dick Hoey, 40-1. This is not a number I enjoyed clicking on, but just shot 63 in the final round of Japan about a month ago, pretty much since they had that week off. So you love to bring that momentum into Utah. Very similar climates and courses and all that stuff compared to what they just played at the Bay Current Classic, of course. But this guy's been awesome. I feel like you guys have been all over him kind of the end of the year into the fall. Played great at the Pro Tour, I think. Had the longer putter in the bag. Didn't really do too much, but it did enough to get him inside the top 10. So putted these greens well last year. Had some really good play, just didn't have that putting round that you need. And I'm hoping it happens on Thursday with how well he's hitting the golf ball.
Rick, is the argument for Rico Hoey that because he has transitioned to the long putter, that maybe because he's such a good ball striker, that if he's neutral, he can actually win? I'm not talking about first round leader. I'm talking about to win the tournament, because a lot of people have him to win the tournament. And the only thing I could invest in there in terms of a mindset is, okay, the long putter is really going to carry him enough with the ball striking.
That's the theory. Now, in practice, what we saw at the Pro Tour was awesome. He picked up like 9 strokes putting. It immediately kind of regressed, and he lost like a stroke and a half in Jackson. But he played well at the Bay Current. I don't know if you guys saw this. We had to throw out all the shot leg data from Japan. The PGA Tour suggested that we do that. It was not being collected properly. So I don't know what he did, but the fact that he finished T4, I suggest that he probably putted pretty well. So yeah, that is the theory, Sia. You've nailed it.
All right.
That's pretty funny, because we talked to Matt McCarty on Monday, and we popped up his tee shot on number 9 when he was trying to shoot 59, and it was just like miles left.
Yeah.
Miles left. And he's like, I missed it by 2 yards.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny you said that, Rick.
Yeah. I think that's the first time we've had that, where there's like, they actually sent out like a recommendation. It was like, you shouldn't use this.
Yeah. He said he missed just left of that fairway bunker on the inside.
Yeah.
I was doing research, Rick, on your site, like I always do to prep for tournaments, rickrungood.com, of course. And I noticed you just had like the total strokes gained there. Like you didn't have.
Yeah. So I originally had, as the tournament was going on, like I was calculating it to the best of my ability based on what I knew was right and what I knew was wrong. So I had like some numbers in there, but I wasn't super happy with them. And then when the PGA Tour sent out their suggestion, I wiped all the off the tee approach around the green and putting stuff. So it's just the strokes gained by round that's in there now.
All right, I'll go over my first round leaders real quick. And if you all have questions in the chat, let me know. And by the way, Patrick, as soon as you said the word Japan jumped in the chat, and he's very mad, and he's talking with capital letters. Japan, we love you. We also love EC. So hopefully we'll have him back on soon. But EC's doing great. Japan, Farzad, Jeff, Joseph Boza, Chris Kish, so many of you, Jack George, you got questions. We're going to answer those questions. Sites is in here. Thanks for being in here. If you're watching us on Twitter, feel free to ask questions over there or jump into the YouTube SportsLine YouTube channel, and you can ask questions in this YouTube chat. All right, I've got William Mao. You all know I'm a big William Mao guy. 55-1. This guy can get so hot. We're going to see him later on in the show. I think a couple of us have Mao picks at different parts of the show, but I just like his ability to get so hot with the putter, the approach play, the off the tee play. He checks all the boxes. So does Mac Meisner. I mean, I think all of us were on Mac Meisner 1 or 2 tournaments ago, or at least we were considering him. I'm willing to go back to him because, again, I think just based on a very small sample size that he may have found something as well. Victor Perez is a guy who rated out really well from an approach and putting standpoint, pretty good off the tee as well, ball striking. So I think, again, for 18 holes, I don't trust Perez, nor do I trust Montgomery for 72, but for 18, I do 55, 60, 60, and 70 to 1. Let's go to tournament matchups. And we're going to start with Patrick McDonald. We already brought up Max Homa once. Talk to me one more time.
Yeah, the value hounds probably don't like this bet. I'm seeing a lot of Alex Smalley in the streets, but at the end of the day, who would I rather root for? Max Homa at +105 or Alex Smalley at like -130? It's Max Homa all day. Like Rick mentioned, hoping that your guy isn't extremely inaccurate off the tee. That's probably where the concerns lie with Max Homa, but playing a lot better golf so far this fall. At the end of the year, people forget he was like right there at the John Deere Classic till the end. Easily could have won that golf tournament, I think. And then top 20 is there at Pro Course. Anderson played well. Bay Current, as Rick said, throw it out the window, doesn't count. So we're going to go with Homa on a wide golf course. He's putting it well. His approach play has been pretty solid over these last few months, honestly, at +105 over Smalley. And so, yeah.
All right. I like Max Homa +105 there as well. Jason Sobel, we have Jeff Stenberg in the chat. And if you recall, he's the biggest Michael Thorbjornsen fan, maybe in the world, but he does say, when can newly promoted Korn Ferry guys start? I'm about to be a Davis Chatfield account. So he might abandon Thorpe, or maybe there's going to be 2 on the bus there. Jason, I don't know if you have a response to the Davis Chatfield question, but you certainly have Thorpe in a matchup. And so same with Thorbjorn Olesen.
Chatfield's a guy I bet a decent amount on the Korn Ferry Tour this year. He's a short hitter, short, accurate hitter. I mean, he kind of reminds me of a David Lipsky type, but maybe a little bit better than that. But probably not a guy that's going to pop on a regular basis on the PGA Tour, but I think he's got a lot of game, and I think that on certain golf courses, he's going to be very good next year. We're not going to see the Korn Ferry guys, I guess, for a little bit. There's just too many guys in these fields. The guys that need to play well and keep their cards are going to fill out these fields. So unless these guys get sponsor exemptions or get in via Monday qualifying, and trust me, these guys probably aren't even trying. They've got their cards for next year already. So might as well take a much-deserved break this time of year. Yeah, I've got 2 Thors for my matchups this week. I usually like digging a little deeper, guys, for even or plus money, something close to that. But what with 2 favorites here, I think you can make the case that Michael Thorbjornsen might be the most talented player in this field. Not most accomplished, maybe not even best right now, but just overall talent level over the long haul. It might be Thorbjornsen. I think that, there's a good chance, and again, we're running out of time. We've only got a few events left, but there's a good chance that Thorbjornsen is a PGA Tour champion before the year is over. We're going to talk more about him in a couple of minutes when we get into our prop plays for finishing position bets, but I like him over Kurt Kitayama this week. And then Thorbjorn Olesen, he's just playing really good golf. He's just a better player than Matt Wallace. And again, kind of like Patrick said earlier, let's not overthink it. Let's go with the better player in these scenarios.
All right. Well, Rick, perhaps that's what you're doing as well. Max Homa +115. Am I reading that right? Over Ryan Gerard. I'm also fading Ryan Gerard, as you can see if you're watching us on YouTube. But talk to me about Homa over Gerard and William Mao over Jesper Svensson.
Yeah, I mean, we are very connected on these boards. I agree with what a lot of Patrick said about trying to be early on Max Homa, getting him on a plus number over Ryan Gerard. I think Gerard is great, but if Homa keeps it in play off the tee, the rest of his game has been very, very sharp. And then William Mao has got like a win and a T7 in his last 4 starts. I think that his game is much underrated, both kind of from the eye test and from like the statistical standpoint, and going up against Jesper Svensson. And I think his best attributes kind of get neutered around here a little bit. So yeah, I mean, we're very much all kind of in the same ballpark about who we're fading and who we're on. So yeah, it's Homa and William Mao for me as well.
I'm going to fade Ryan Gerard here too. I think Ryan Gerard has some upside, don't get me wrong, but when I'm looking at hopefully four rounds of a matchup for William Mao, I just like his consistency as of late. Certainly like his upside as much, if not better than Gerard, but I like his consistency in terms of the strokes gain metrics relative to Gerard's lately. So I'll take William Mao minus 110 over Gerard. And by the way, Farzad says Mao just had his first child on September 5th, which also happens to be William Mao's birthday. I mean, if we're talking strokes gain narrative, Rick, I mean, this is money in the bank. He's going to win by like 10 strokes minimum.
Did you know, because my birthday is also in September, I think like 8 of the 10 most common birthdays in America are September birthdays.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which means Patrick's doing the math in his head. Those are New Year's. New Year's. Yeah.
A lot of good New Year's Eve parties.
That's exactly what that is. Yes. Well done.
March, February.
Yeah. We're working on it.
January. Okay.
How many days in April?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I thought you were just looking up at Rick when you did that. I didn't know you were actually doing the math.
I know the look.
No, we weren't
coming out of his ears.
Brady Bunch in this.
That's what I was thinking too. Nice ref. See, you are the sitcom guy. All right, let's move along to that's tournament matchups. Let's move along to finishing positions. You'll see a lot of repeat names here. I'll go first because I don't think we need to pour much more information about William Mao and Mac Meisner. I have them both as a top 20. I kind of wanted to find the top 30 market that actually paid ties in full, but BetMGM doesn't have that out. FanDuel doesn't have that out. And DraftKings has the top 30 market, but it doesn't pay ties in full. So I went with top 20. Hopefully I hit one of these. Obviously the idea is to hit both, but if I hit one, we've got a lot of good plus money here. William Mao, top 20 plus 175. Mac Meisner, top 20 plus 225. Again, with Meisner, the metrics have been really good as of late. And I think it's evidence that he's found something and the game is at a different level. Jason, talk to me about, Thor, top 5, and William Mao, top 20.
Yeah, again, Thor Bjornsson is just a guy that I'm going to target this time of year. I just think he's a lot better than everybody else in the field. And that I don't know if I want to bet him outright at the short number he's at, but top 5, again, very short number for a top 5. I'm just very bullish on him right now. I think he's playing some really good golf. He was 3rd in his last start, and I think he can do that again this week. And then everyone seemingly, you guys are all talking about William Mao, sort of the opposite of Carl Phillips. I talked about Phillips as a first-round leader play earlier. He won at the Puerto Rico Open, and after that, basically just took the rest of the year off. I mean, he was playing golf, but he wasn't playing golf well, and he was going home before the weekend started on most occasions. William Mao is the opposite. We see this sometimes. Guys win for the first time on the PGA Tour, and for some guys, it's like, whew, all right, got to gather myself. That's a lot going on. I've got my card for the next couple of years. Don't have to worry too much. And they just have trouble recreating that magic. Then there are other guys who it takes a while for them to get there. Not that William Mao took a while, but didn't really play very well for most of the year. Won the ISCO championship. And as Rick mentioned a couple of minutes ago, right after he won the ISCO, it's like, all right, let's step on that gas pedal. Let's keep it going. And he has done that over his last few starts. And he's playing some very good golf right now. Should match up well with this golf course. I'll go in top 20 for him as well.
Patrick and Rick, you guys have names that we haven't talked about a ton, which is a good thing. Davis Thompson, top 20, Patrick. Again, a name that I think some people are probably taking in the outright market. You like him plus 120 and Hodges top 20 at plus 270.
Yeah, I went with Thompson at Jackson, finished T21, which was no fun at all, but he's driving it great, which, Rick said a word that really caught my attention in the last segment. He said the word neutralize, which, Rick, amazing stuff on your end.
Yeah. And
it got me thinking, damn, this course is going to neutralize Davis Thompson's best ability, which is off the tee. And it got me second guessing a little bit, but kind of just like talent play, top 20 in this field, I think is more than doable. Has been playing good golf for a little bit now. So at plus 120, I'll take a swing at that. And then Lee Hodges, top 20 at plus 270. Haven't really heard from the kid in a while, but finished inside the top 40 at the Sanderson, T40 at the Bay Current, which I know isn't really anything to write home about, but finished inside the top 10 at this tournament last year. And I will say the thing about Thompson and Hodges, Rick, not just give him all the freaking flowers on this, but he tweeted out a little yardage bucket this week, and it's like what, 175 ish, right? That
yeah, 175 to 200. It's like twice as frequent at Black Desert than the tour average. So a lot of shots come from there.
Yeah, and that's where Thompson and Hodges both thrive. The further away they get from the hole, they tend to be better with their irons. So I think that will help their case too.
By the way, I just want to throw in here, and Rick, you probably found this as well because I saw the same stat. 175 to 200, lots of shots from that range. The leader in proximity to the hole from 175 to 200 this season is Matty Schmid. I went and looked. He was top 5 here last year. What a great matchup. He's not in the field. What are we doing, Matty? Where is Matty Schmid right now, and who is telling him take the week off?
Matty Schmid.
Where in the world is Matty Schmid? Could be
Number
anywhere, quite honestly.
7 in the FedEx. Oh yeah, I forgot he made it.
Rick, Rick, do we
don't play?
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Played
Of
on
all
the
people,
major.
Matty Schmid. Do we assess the buckets differently because it's at altitude and there's a bit of an adjustment?
Yeah. There's issues with a lot of this stuff, right? But
Be very, very quiet.
but we have such little data to go off of. When you get like, hey, a lot of these shots are coming from this range, and the way that you have to kind of attack off the tee, you're going to see just a lot of shots from the same spots, like whether you like it or not. So yeah, the altitude will play a little bit different, but those guys are still going to end up hitting the same clubs as other guys, right? Like 175 to 200. At altitude, it might play shorter than that, but you're still going to hit the same club relative to your peers that you were going to hit in another spot anyway. So in theory, it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
So Rick, you have in the finishing position market, the two names of all of us that are more householdy than others. Christian Bezuidenhout, top 10 at plus 360, and Sahith Theegala, top 20 plus 220. Speaking of narratives, I believe he just got engaged. Give me your thoughts on these two guys.
Yeah, him and Juju, congratulations.
I thought you were going to go with all right, and give me your thoughts on that relationship, Rick.
Seems strong.
You can do that too.
Seems strong. I've met Juju once or twice. She's great. I don't know. Seems strong. The Christian Bezuidenhout thing is interesting. I just like the trajectory that he's on. He used to be a one-trick pony, the ability to putt. He is no longer that. I think he's really done a really good job of just making progress in his game every single year. And for him to finish inside the top 10 at plus 360 as one of the better players in the field, I thought was just too long. And then you're going to see kind of the same thing a lot on my card. It's guys who are playing well or guys that have a very strong pedigree. Sahith falling into the pedigree department now that he's fully healthy. Top 20 to finish inside the top 20 again is just too long for me. All right,
Sahith Theegala, top 20 plus 220. We got to get to our outrights. We got to get to the things that are going to make us all the money. We can't all bet $1.11 and win 1,000. So we're going to do it the hard way. We're going to figure out what, not only for the determined outrights for Bank of Utah, but we've got a couple of you have Genesis outrights as well. We're going to hear all about it right after this message from our partners.
You can't count on accurate expiration dates.
No, that is a rookie mistake.
Or the kindness of strangers. But thanks to CBS Sports, you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Bank of Utah Championship outrights. Jason Sobel, you're going, speaking of household names, we got Sahith Theegala, but we also have a guy we haven't even mentioned, and many might say, certainly from a pedigree standpoint, might be the best in the field. Jason Day at 25 to 1, Sahith Theegala at 50.
Yeah, you've figured out my pattern. Let me tell you guys a little story about the 2020 Sanderson Farms Championship. That year was a weird year. Oh, by the way, Sergio Garcia came into the week at 50 to 1. Hadn't played his best golf that year. And everybody saw him and everyone goes, Sergio, 50 to 1, maybe the most talented player in the field, certainly the biggest name, the most accomplished player. There was no one like Sergio who was playing in that field. And I tried to figure out all these reasons why. I said, seems kind of fishy. I don't know if he's just trying to get to his minimum requirement. I don't know if he's fulfilling some sponsor obligation. There's no good reason for Sergio Garcia to go to Jackson, Mississippi in early October and play golf. It's just weird to me. I'm going to stay away. Meanwhile, the rest of the betting community, it seemed like, was on Sergio. And Sergio won that week, and I learned a lesson. And I thought, you know what? When the best guys play in these fall events, you know what? Sometimes maybe they are motivated. Maybe they do want to go play good golf. And so that's exactly the route that I'm taking with these two plays right now. Jason Day, admittedly did not play his best golf toward the end of the regular season into the playoffs, but still, he's Jason Day. Jason Day can go to Utah, play against this type of field, and win this golf tournament at 25-1. I love that number. And same thing goes for Sahith Theegala. He's just one of the best players in this field. I look at these very much as if you took a general golf fan who doesn't bet and doesn't know a whole lot about what's going on at the Bank of Utah Championship and who's in form and what the strokes gain data said, but you just showed a casual golf fan the entry list this week and said, all right, pick a couple of names. They'd probably go, I don't know, Jason Day, Sahith Theegala, they seem good. And that's sort of the way I'm going this week. Just I'm taking guys who are really good players.
Rick, you're also on Sahith. We've talked about him a ton. Alex Noren is a name on my list as well, so speak freely. If you want to add to Sahith, feel free, but Alex Noren has my interest.
And I'm pretty comfortable with the Sahith conversation. Alex Noren's won half of his last 4 starts. Alex Noren's piling up top 10 finishes across both the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. The metrics that we have show that he is not only an outstanding putter, which is what you'd expect from Alex Noren, but he's giving himself a lot more opportunities as of late than he had at other parts over the course of the last couple of years. So, great player with a lot of confidence, playing some of the best golf we've seen him play in a long time. Sign me up. No problems.
Patrick, you're on Max Homa. You talked about him. You think he can close. Mav McNeely is a name we haven't heard yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I think if there's a knock on Mav's game, it's probably his accuracy off the tee. He can get a little bit wayward from time to time, but at a golf course like this, and, he's played well at, I was going to say like dink and dunk, but point A, point B type golf courses, but also the bigger ones. You think Torrey Pines. He played great at the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. That's a big golf course with bent grass greens as well. Almost won the Worldwide Technology Championship last year too, another resort-style golf course. So he is the best putter in this field for my money, and he's hitting it great. He's coming off the best season of his career as well. And so give me all of that at 20-1. And then Max Homa, 61-1. Whenever I get these weird numbers, it's typically from the place that makes books, aka the library, which I might have to start coining it as. But just a guy like you mentioned, Sia, when he is sniffing contention, he has an uncanny ability to close. Hopefully he can sniff it this week. Seems like he's trending in that direction, and I think it's a decent fit for him, and I like that price.
I totally agree with you guys that like being early on Max Homa, because I don't think anybody's really paying attention to him in the outright. I mean, some people are, but he's not getting as much steam as I would have suspected. And the form looks pretty good. I mean, I think he absolutely could win in this field. So that number, what's the number at normal non-library places?
45.
It's still good. That's still a good number.
I think you can get a 45. Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got Alex Noren. We talked about that. I just think Alex Noren can do everything well. Rick, you mentioned it. The upside, he's showcased it over the last 4 tournaments, specifically into can get super hot with the putter. The ball striking has been there. Again, short game. I just like everything that he can do. In a field like this, I think he can close yet again. Kurt Kitayama is the only name of the 4 I have on here, and it's Noren, Kitayama, Mao, and Meisner that we haven't really talked about. I kind of want to get, if somebody has an opinion on Kitayama, I'd like to hear it, because we've seen the upside. We know the ball striking is great. The putter can come and go. So I think that would be the argument against him, but we've seen him have a decent enough putter. I think on bent grass, he's actually relatively good, again, relative to other surfaces. Does anybody have any comments on Kurt Kitayama? Because I plan on playing him in DFS as well.
Plays a lot of desert golf, lives in the Scottsdale area, and played at UNLV. So the desert golf matchup seems to make sense. And he's a guy with a ton of offensive firepower. So I don't mind it. I ain't get on it just because I feel like the number's a little too short for a guy who's only won twice. And one of them just came a couple of months ago. Do we really think Kurt Kitayama is going to win again this soon after winning earlier? But yeah, I mean, everything about it seems to make some sense.
Rick, any thoughts?
No, I agree with that. I've personally never gotten Kurt Kitayama correct, so it's very difficult for me to assess him. But I thought Jason did a great job.
I mean, I'm just I'm just recently on the Kurt Kitayama train. Like I had him a couple of weeks ago, didn't really work out. So that is pending for me. We'll see. 19-1 is certainly a short number. Let's get to long shots and parlays before we get to the opposite field event, which of course is the Genesis Championship. And as we get to long shots and parlays, I got to shout out Mike Miller, who was always in this chat, or at least listening to the podcast after the fact. He says, Mao to win and a Vlad Jr. game 1 home run is 205 to 1. Real quick poll here. Rick, who are you rooting for, the Blue Jays or the Dodgers?
The Dodgers. I know, but I have some like very wonky like future scenarios that basically all run through the Dodgers winning the World Series.
Patrick?
You know, I was really rooting for Seattle. That was the team I hitched my wagon to. And the big dumper. I mean, how can you not root for that guy?
Yeah.
I guess you got to root.
I thought that was an underground nickname, like that people in the Mariners circles called him. And then like on the international, like the national telecast, like, here comes the big dumper. I'm like, are you kidding me? They say this on the actual broadcast? That's insane.
Dude, Ryan Stryker, one of the producers for HQ, I was talking weather one day with Tommy Tran, week of the US Open, when it was pouring out, and I just kept on saying, oh my gosh, it's dumping right now. It's absolutely dumping. And he made a little TikTok edit of me saying that with the big dumper hitting home runs. So that's how I became a fan. I guess you got to root for the Blue Jays, right? Like,
I think you do, unless you have a vested interest. I mean, I know it's a different country and all, but Jason Sobel, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got some family-ish ties to Toronto and Blue Jays fans, so I will stay on their side and root against the evil empire that has now become the Los Angeles Dodgers.
That's the thing. They're the evil empire. They're just like outspending everyone. Granted, Toronto spends a lot of money too on their players, but then the deferred payments, and it just seems so untoward. I don't like it at all.
Although
like
I will say, rooting against Shohei feels really weird too.
Yeah.
Like he is so damn cool.
He's so cool.
He is really cool. I'll root for him. I'm just not going to root for the Dodgers. I like Freddie Freeman as well. Actually, Mookie Betts is okay. I'm rooting for the Dodgers, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm spinning around here. All right, let's get to some long shots and or parlays. Rick, I'm going to start with you.
Dylan Wu, low bar, but starting to play a lot better golf. This is like maybe one of the better courses for him, because I don't think you have to be particularly long. He is accurate. He does hit a lot of greens, and we see him get hot at times. I just think that the lack of distance won't be a problem, and the rest of his game sets up pretty well. I have him top 5 at 28 to 1. If you wanted to do like top 10, top 20, have at it. But that's the pick that I fired in. And then David Ford is just part of the next crop, gets the card from PGA Tour U. This is not his first PGA Tour event, but it feels like the start of a new era for him because, like he's a pro now, right? And he's playing these events. He's incredibly talented. He's 200 to 1. We're going to learn a lot about him over his next like 15 starts and see what he's going to be. But this is just a very, very early dart throw.
All right, we've definitely reached the parlay portion of the show. Jason, you've got a really fun parlay. I'm not even 100% sure what's going on there, but I do know you know what? I'm going to let you do that, but talk to me about Carson Young first, because if memory serves, Carson Young was pretty good here last year.
Yeah, tied for 11th here last year, playing some good golf. He's one of those guys that just wouldn't surprise you if he goes out and wins this time of year. There's not a whole lot of guys further down the board that look like they have value in the outright markets. You kind of look at the board and you go, we know who the good players are. We know the players who can win. Everyone would love to find a 90 to 1, 100 to 1, 200 to 1 player to go out there and win this golf tournament. It's hard to find someone at that number in these events who can actually win the golf tournament. That said, Carson Young at 90 certainly has some value there. And then we're gonna keep parlaying. 1,000 to 1 wasn't good enough. We're going, what's this? 44,000 to 1. Sahith at 50 to 1 with tag ridings. Top 5 last week on the PGA Tour Champions, has ties to Arkansas. He played his college golf there and is in the school's Hall of Fame. And I believe he might still live there, if I'm not mistaken. Adam Scott, who's spent the last couple of weeks in Asia. Granted, it's not like he's right nearby and playing the same golf courses, but Adam Scott is right on the bubble to get into that race to Dubai. it seems like he wants to. Every time I've talked about Adam Scott over the last 5 years, I'm just bewildered at the fact that he's traveling to Asia in October to go play these events around the world. I would have thought that at this point in his career, Adam Scott was going to play 7 events a year and show up for the majors and, try to win them, but, certainly wasn't grinding. I've talked to him about it. He's still grinding. He still wants to play really good golf. It's going to pay off for him in terms of a win at some point. Maybe it comes this week.
Patrick, you've got a parlay. I mean, again, it's one that I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. We got a Team USA. We got Mav, which just that name screams USA. And the Steelers, perhaps America's real team and not the Dallas Cowboys. Just throwing that out there. No, I'm not even a Steelers fan. That feels like more America's team. 120 to 1.
Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. So the issue I've run into, this is my third one. Week 1, I did CeeDee Lamb touchdown and Scotty Scheffler to win. CeeDee Lamb did not score. Last time I wasn't on the show, but I had Xander Schauffele and Tony Pollard to score. Xander won, Tony Pollard didn't. So I'm just doing a game. Anytime touchdowns aren't working. Steelers +3. There's a 3.5 out there on FanDuel, but FanDuel didn't have the LPGA tournament because, read between the lines there, just disgusting stuff. So you have Steelers +3, McNeely to win this tournament, and Team USA. Josh took out the sponsor at the Hanwha Life Plus International Crown on the LPGA. Team USA took a hit. Obviously, Nelly Korda withdrew, but we got Angel Yin, Lauren Coughlin, and Lilia Vu, and Yelemi No at 5-1. That's our squad. It's actually a fun little competition out there in Korea. Team event, playing all different types of formats. So I'm rocking with the red, white, and blue for that. 120 altogether.
I thought my parlay was crazy, and then I saw all of yours. Mine's only a paltry 75 to 1. Before I get there, Sobel, go ahead.
Can we rewind just for a second? I do not want to be living in a country where America's team is led by a quarterback that sandbags his way to titles.
Aaron Rodgers is a great man.
Aaron Rodgers plays
a hero.
10 handicap. He's got a 3 handicap.
He's a hero.
Index, played to a 10 at Pebble Beach, and they gave him a trophy.
He's a match winner. The match. R.I.P.
Embarrassed.
We could do a whole separate show on Aaron Rodgers. That's for sure. Patrick, real quick, were you happy when the Steelers ultimately acquired Aaron Rodgers, or were you like, this isn't great?
He's just misunderstood by the media, I think, Sia. And you have guys like Rick, who you can tell that disgust on his face. But
I'm disgusted by you.
I'm
disgusted by you because you were not going to take. Sia, did you actually think he was going to be like, "Oh no, I thought it was horrible"? Like he was going to take. Obviously, he's going to take whatever makes him look the best. That was such a layup. I knew he was going to do that. And then for him to go the route of misunderstood by the media is like, he is. It was worse than I thought he was.
People talk about the corrupt golf media, but not enough are talking about the corrupt NFL media. And sorry, I have this like street gang of bikers rolling through right now. They're probably
it's Aaron Rodgers.
Probably.
All right, I'm going to get to my parlay.
Saying about Aaron Rodgers.
I've got a top 30 parlay. This you can only parlay this, as far as I know, over at DK. And unfortunately, the top 30 doesn't pay ties in full. So you really have to have these guys finish inside the top 30. But I've talked about really all of them. In fact, David Lipsky, we did mention him as well. Taylor Montgomery, top 30. Victor Perez, top 30. William Mao, David Lipsky. We suddenly forgot about him after his torrid stretch a few tournaments ago. And Richard Hoey, top 30, 75 to 1. I think, listen, is this probably going to come in? No, it's probably not going to come in. Am I going to put $1 or $2 on it to see if it does? Yes, because betting golf is fun, and it should be fun for everyone. So Montgomery, Perez, Mao, Lipsky, Hoey, top 30. All right, before we get out of here, let's get to the opposite field event, Genesis Championship. I didn't do any research on this one, so I don't have any picks. Jason and Rick, you all do. Jason, do the honors.
Yeah, I talked about Adam Scott already. I think he's going to get the payoff with a win at some point. They're playing a different course this week. This is a course where over the years, John Daly's won there and Wai Yang is won there. Ricky Fowler's won there. So it's like sort of it's the short, it's the long, it's the in between. So I don't know really how to rate this one, but Adam Scott, maybe the ball striking works for him. And then Bernd Wiesberger is a guy that I've always thought he gets what do they call it in football? It's like the all like bus team. They walk off the bus and you look at him, you're like, that dude looks like he's really good. Wiesberger's on the all bust team. Like Tony Finau always just looks like one of the best players. Jonathan Vegas always looks like a guy on the range that you're like, that dude's really good. It doesn't always happen. Wiesberger's always been a guy that you look at. I remember seeing him on the range for the first time at Riviera, like 12, 15 years ago. I'm like, that dude looks like he's really good. He's been good for a long time, never been great, but I do think that number 80-1, he's played some decent golf recently that could come in this week.
Rick, before you get to your Genesis Championship outrights over on the DP World Tour, Johnny Vegas, Tony Finau on this course. It's a matchup. It's minus 110 each way. Who do you take?
Oh God. Probably Vegas. I think Finau's like very lost at the moment.
Definitely Vegas for me.
Very, very lost. Yeah. Not thrilled about either of those, but I'll go with Vegas there.
Do you guys even know where Tony Finau's from?
Yeah. Doesn't help. Doesn't help.
Is he from Utah? Because I actually didn't know that. All right.
Well, you know, he's not like
playing in Utah.
I don't know if he's like super welcome back to you. There's a whole lot of drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
Jason, who do you take in that
Family
matchup?
approach.
Minus 110 each way.
I mean, like this, if it was hypothetically this week or just anyway,
Right now, this week.
it's Tony, but I don't feel good about it.
Nah, it's Vegas. You wanted to say Vegas, and for some reason you didn't.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, talk to me about the Genesis Championship.
Yeah, Tristan Lawrence here. He won like 5 or 6 starts ago at the European Masters on the DP World Tour. He played great last week. He picked up like a stroke with the putter in India, finished T3 there behind, like you mentioned, it was Tommy Fleetwood who won that event. He's picked up 21 strokes from tee to green in his last 8 rounds. So he's my guy there at 25-1. And then Eugenio Chacarra, I just love the talent. Remember, he's highly ranked AM who went to live, did not go back, has been playing well of global golf on a Asian tour. Wherever he can get starts, he plays well. Still very young, still very talented. He's 45-1. Would not be surprised to see him get into the winner's circle at some point in the next 12 months.
It feels like the 45-1s are super live in the Bank of Utah Championship. And I like that number, 45-1. I mean, maybe $1 on Chacarra and someone in that 45-1 range. Well, Jason, I'm just trying to mimic you. All right, we do have to finally get out of here. Big Roddy, we've got our first round leaders. If you just go back in the show, you can take a look at everybody's first round leaders. And if you haven't already downloaded the Early Edge podcast, make sure you do that because you can just listen to the audio version. Jason, I guess we don't have story time from this particular tournament or the Black Desert, right?
Yeah, I've got no stories about this one whatsoever. You know what? I can do this very quickly, I think. They sent a care package last year. We were at a Black Desert Resort, and this came in the mail, among like a hat and some other stuff. And I'm looking at this thing. I tried to turn it on. I thought it was a speaker. Turn it on. It's a fan. For those that, like me, that live in warm weather climates,
Whoa.
you want to go out on the range and like sit on the range, you want to putt a little bit, and it's a fan that'll blow on you. I'm like, it's the greatest, dumbest little golf gift that probably cost them $2 to make. And it's got the Black Desert logo on it. That's my story.
Yeah, I could see Rick eating
cool.
that up.
Yeah,
I do like that. Actually, yeah. I mean, that's right. It is right up my alley. I love that.
You're going to
I'm gonna go to Amazon
On morning
and find-
walks, all the elderly women in the neighborhood use them.
Yeah, perfect.
All right, we're going to get everybody out of here. We went almost 55 minutes. We're doing these every time we have a PGA tournament event. And the next time we do this, if you all have questions, we will go ahead and try to answer them. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Jason Sobel. And thank you, Josh, on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. Make it a profitable week. Let's have some fun betting golf. We'll see you next time right here on the Early Wedge.